The Cubs had a 5-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers. We're going to look over all 5 of those games. We're going to look at what went right and what went wrong. All of that is happening on this episode of Cubs 360. What's up, Cubs fans? It's Jack from Cubs 360. Thank you very much for tuning in to episode 40 of the Cubs 360 podcast. If you're interested in this content, feel free to like, subscribe, and also follow us on Twitter at Cubs360X. So this is my series recap of the Milwaukee Brewers series, a 5-game series because of a game that was postponed in the previous series back in June. So we're going to look at game 1, which was the makeup game from June 18th. So we're going to head to the top of the first with Cade Horton pitching for the Cubs. Terang struck out swinging, Durbin will fly out to center, and Contreras will ground out to third. In the bottom of the first, Freddie Peralta pitching for the Brewers. Bush will fly out to left, Tucker will ground out to first, Suzuki will head a base at center, and PCA will fly out to center. In the top of the second, Yelich struck out looking, Vaughn hit a base hit to center, Perkins struck out swinging, Frelick will hit a base hit to right, which will send Vaughn to second, and Jansen lined out to left. In the bottom of the second, Kelly will foul out to first, Owen Casey struck out swinging, and Nico Hoerner will ground out to first. In the top of the third, Ortiz will pop out to short. Bryce Terang hits a home run to left to make it 1-0 in Milwaukee. Durbin will hit a double to left. Contreras will ground out to short. Durbin will go to third. Yelich will get walked. Vaughn gets hit by the pitch. Yelich will go to second. And Pomeranz will go in for the Cubs in the top of the third as Perkins will ground out to third. In the bottom of the third now, Castro will fly out to left. Shaw struck out swinging as well as Bush. In the top of the fourth, Frelick will fly out to center, Jansen fouls out to the catcher, and Ortiz will line out to right. In the bottom of the fourth now, Tucker will ground out to first, Suzuki will get walked. PCA also gets walked, which will send Suzuki to second. Kelly will get walked so the bases are loaded. Casey struck out swinging, and Nico Hoerner will line out to right. In the top of the fifth, with Rogers pitching for the Cubs now, Terang will ground out to first. Durbin hits a home run to left center field to make it 2-0 Milwaukee. Contreras struck out looking, and Yelich struck out looking. In the bottom of the fifth, Castro struck out looking, Shaw will ground out to third, and Bush struck out looking. In the top of the sixth, Little pitching for the Cubs now, Vaughn will fly out to left, Perkins will ground out to second, Frelick will get walked, as well as Jansen, but then Ortiz will reach on an infield single to Little. Frelick scores on a throwing error by Little, and Ortiz will go to second, and Jansen is safe at third on the air to make it 3-0 Brewers, but then Terang struck out looking. In the bottom of the sixth, Tucker will ground out to second, Suzuki will line out to right, and PCA will fly out to center. In the top of the seventh, Durbin struck out looking, Contreras struck out swinging, as well as Yelich. In the bottom of the seventh now, Uribe pitching for the Brewers. Kelly will ground out to short, Casey will hit a base in center, Nico Hoerner will ground into a fielder's choice at second, and Casey is out at second, and Castro will ground out to third. In the top of the eighth, Hollowell pitching for the Cubs now. Vaughn will ground out to third, Perkins will get walked as well as Frelick. Then Jansen will get walked to load the bases. Ortiz will reach on an infield single to second to score Perkins. Jansen and Frelick advance a base and make it 4-0 Milwaukee. Terang will hit a base hit to right, which will score Frelick. Ortiz and Jansen will advance a base. And then Durbin will ground into a fielder's choice at second. Jansen will score. Terang is out at second, but Ortiz will go to third to make it 6-0. And then Durbin will steal second. And then Ortiz will score on a wild pitch by Hollowell. Durbin will go to third on the wild pitch to make it 7-0 in favor of the Brewers. Contreras will get walked, and then Yelich will ground out to second. In the bottom of the eighth, Koenig going in for the Milwaukee Brewers now. Lockridge is in left field. Shaw struck out swinging. Turner will pinch it for Bush, and he grounds out to third, and Tucker will fly out to left. In the top of the ninth, Hollowell still pitching for the Cubs. Turner will go to first, Vaughn struck out swinging, Collins will pinch it for Perkins, and he grounds out to second, Frelick will hit a double to right, and Jansen struck out swinging. Anderson pitching for the Brewers in the bottom of the ninth, Lockridge is in center, Collins will go to left, Suzuki will ground out to short, PCA struck out swinging, and Kelly will fly out to left. To end the game, the Cubs lose the first of 5 against the Milwaukee Brewers by a final score of 7-0. The win goes to Freddie Peralta. 15-5 on the year, 6 innings pitched, only gave up 1 hit and 6 strikeouts. Cade Horton with the loss, 7-4 on the year, 2 2/3 innings pitched, 1 earned run and 4 hits against with only 3 strikeouts. So not a good game whatsoever from the Chicago Cubs, and that 8th inning certainly didn't help whatsoever. That's how Milwaukee ran away with the game. So a bad bullpen game, I would say. But again, that's something we've been used to, at least over the last year. Not so much from this year, but I think we've as Cubs fans, embrace the fact that sometimes, our bullpen is not going to stand strong every game, and this is just another prime example of that. And they were the call-ups too. Little was on the bump today, and then Hollowell. So, again, not phenomenal whatsoever when you think of call-ups on the bullpen, but again, that's what happens, and that's why Milwaukee is as good as they are. So with that said, the Cubs lose Game 1, and they have a chance to bounce back in Game number 2. So in Game number 2, this was supposed to be the second of the doubleheader from August 18th. So this is a makeup game from August 18th since this game got rained out. So on August 19th, which was supposed to be the second day of the series, there was a doubleheader. So this is the first game of the doubleheader, a makeup game from August 18th. So with that said, let's get right into it. In the top of the first, Matthew Boyd is pitching for the Cubs. Frelick will ground out to second. Durbin will line out to left, and Contreras will ground out to short. In the bottom of the first now, Patrick pitching for the Brewers. Bush will fly out to center. Happ will double to center. He goes to third on a wild pitch. Suzuki will get walked. PCA will ground it into a fielder's choice to third. Suzuki will go to second, and Happ is out at home. Castro was safe at first on a throwing error by Vaughn. PCA will go to second, and Suzuki will go to third to load the bases. Owen Casey hits a base hit to right to score PCA and Seiya Suzuki. Castro will go to third to make it 2-0 Cubs, and then Swanson will pop out to third to end the inning. In the top of the second now, Yelich will strike out swinging. Vaughn will get walked as well as Collins. Turang will ground out to first, which will advance Collins and Vaughn to base. Lockridge will get walked to reload the bases, and then Ortiz will foul out to first. In the bottom of the second now, McGuire will ground out to first. Shaw will reach on an infield single to third. He got caught stealing second, and Bush will ground out to first. In the top of the third, Frelick struck out swinging. Durbin will fly out to right, as well as Contreras. In the bottom of the third, Happ will strike out swinging. Suzuki will get walked. PCA will hit a double to left. Suzuki will go to third. And then Willie Castro with a home run to right center to score everybody to make it 5-0 Cubs. Owen Casey will line out to left, and Swanson will fly out to right. In the top of the fourth now, Yelich will hit a home run to right field to make it 5-1. Vaughn will fly out to right, Collins will fly out to center, and Turang will ground out to second. In the bottom of the fourth, McGuire will ground out to first, Shaw struck out swinging, and Bush will ground out to first. In the top of the fifth, Lockridge will hit a double to right, Ortiz will fly out to right, Lockridge will go to third. Frelick will hit a base hit to center to score Lockridge to make it 5-2. Durbin will fly out to center. Contreras will hit a base hit to left, which will send Frelick to second, and then Yelich will ground out to short. In the bottom of the fifth, Happ struck out looking, Suzuki struck out swinging, and PCA will ground out to Patrick. In the top of the sixth, Vaughn will hit a ground rule double. Collins struck out swinging. Turang hits a base hit to center to score Vaughn and make it 5-3. Perkins will pinch it for Lockridge, and Keller will go in for the Cubs. As Perkins struck out swinging, Ortiz will get walked. Frelick will hit a base hit to right to score Turang. Frelick will go to second, and Ortiz will go to third to load the bases, and it is 5-4 in favor of the Cubs. So once a 5-0 lead turned into a one-run game. But with that said, Durbin struck out swinging as we head to the bottom of the sixth, with Miller pitching for the Milwaukee Brewers. Perkins will go to center field as Castro struck out swinging. Owen Casey hits a home run to left center field to make it 6-4, and then Swanson struck out swinging as well as McGuire. In the top of the seventh now, Contreras will get walked, and Thielbar will go in for the Cubs as Yelich struck out looking. Vaughn will ground it into a double play. In the bottom of the seventh now, Myers will be pitching for the Brewers. Shaw will fly out to center. Bush will hit a base hit to left. Happ will pop out to short. And Suzuki will ground it into a fielder's choice to third. Bush is out at second to end the frame. Pomeranz will go in for the Cubs at the top of the eighth. Collins struck out swinging. Turang will ground it to third. And Perkins struck out swinging. In the bottom of the eighth, PC will hit a base hit to right. He got caught stealing second. Castro and Casey both struck out swinging. Palencia will go in for the Cubs in the top of the ninth as Siegler will pinch it for Ortiz. As he struck out looking, Frelick will get walked. Durbin will hit a base hit to right. And then Contreras will ground it to a double play. To end the game, the Cubs win Game 2 of the 5-game series by a final score of 6-4. The win goes to Matthew Boyd, who's 12-6 on the year. 5 1/3 innings pitched. He gave up 4 earned runs and 6 hits with only 3 strikeouts. Patrick with the loss, who's 3-8, 5 innings pitched, gave up 3 earned runs and 5 hits, and only had 4 strikeouts. Palencia with his 17th save of the year with a strikeout and 1 hit against. So my 3 stars for this game. My third star was PCA, who went 2 for 4. Willie Castro was my second star, who went 1 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. And Owen Casey was my first star, 2 for 4 with a home run, his first big league home run, by the way, and 3 RBIs. So props to Owen Casey there. Very deserving first star there. And Willie Castro as well. Solid game as well. Those are your 6 RBIs. So with that said, very solid game from pretty much everybody except for Boyd at the end. I mean, not that he even was terrible, but again, that inning to pretty much put the Brewers back into the game, not what you want to see whatsoever, especially in a division race as close as this here in August. So with that said, that is game number 2, and the Cubs have a chance to take the lead in the series in game number 3. So in game number 3, game 2 of the doubleheader, Jameson Taillon pitching for the Cubs. Frelick struck out looking. Durbin will ground out to short. Contreras will hit a base hit to center. Yelich will get walked. Vaughn will hit a base hit to center to score Contreras. Yelich will go to second to make it 1-0 Milwaukee. And then Collins will strike out swinging. Brandon Woodruff pitching for the Brewers in the bottom of the first as Bush will get walked. Happ will hit a base hit to right. Suzuki will ground it into a fielder's choice to third. Happ is out at second. Bush will go to third. PCA struck out swinging. And Kelly struck out looking. In the top of the second now, Turang will fly out to center. Jansen will hit a double to left. Ortiz struck out looking. Frelick will reach on an infield single to first. Jansen will go to third, and Durbin grounds out to second. In the bottom of the second now, Horner will get walked as he steals second. Casey will hit a base hit to left to score Nico Horner to tie the game at 1. Swanson struck out swinging. Shaw will fly out to right. Bush will hit a double to right to score Casey. Bush will go to third to make it 2-1 Cubs, but then Happ struck out swinging. In the top of the third, Contreras will ground out to short. Yelich will fly out to left, and Vaughn will ground out to short. In the bottom of the third now, Suzuki will ground out to third. PCA flies out to right, and Kelly struck out looking. In the top of the fourth, Collins will line out to left. Turang will ground out to first, and Jansen struck out swinging. In the bottom of the fourth, Nico Horner will pop out to second. Casey will ground out to second. Swanson hits a double to left. Shaw will get walked, and then Bush will ground out to second. In the top of the fifth, Ortiz will line out to left. Frelick will ground out to second, and Durbin will ground out to short. In the bottom of the fifth, Happ will hit a base to left. Suzuki struck out looking. Ashby will go in for the Brewers now. As PCA struck out swinging, Kelly will hit a base hit to left, which will send Happ to second. Nico Horner hits a base hit to center to score Happ. Horner will go to second, and Kelly will go to third to make it 3-1 Cubs. Turner will pinch hit for Casey, and he grounds out to Ashby. In the top of the sixth, Castro will go to right field. Contreras will ground out to third. Yelich will hit a base hit to left. Vaughn will fly out to right, and Collins will fly out to center. In the bottom of the sixth, Swanson will fly out to right. Shaw will hit a triple to left. Bush will ground into a fielder's choice to second, but it will score Shaw to make it 4-1 Cubs. But then Happ will pop out to second. Suzuki struck out looking. Rogers goes in for the Cubs in the top of the seventh. Turang will hit a base to right. Jansen struck out looking. Ortiz hits a base hit to right. Turang will go to third, and then Frelick will ground it to a double play. In the bottom of the seventh now, Monasterio is at short. PCA will ground out to second. Kelly will fly out to right, and Nico Horner will line out to second. Brazier goes in for the Cubs in the top of the eighth. Siegler will pinch hit for Durbin, as Siegler will ground out to first. Contreras will line out to first, and Yelich will ground out to second. In the bottom of the eighth, Siegler's at third. Castro will ground out to the pitcher. Swanson will hit a base hit to left. Shaw struck out swinging, and Bush will ground out to second. In the top of the ninth, Kittredge will go in for the Cubs. Vaughn will ground out to second, as well as Collins, and Turang will ground out to first. To end the game, the Cubs take Game 3 and the second of the doubleheader by a final score of 4-1. The win goes to Jameson Taillon, 8-6 on the year, 6 innings pitched, gave up 1 earned run and 5 hits with 4 strikeouts. Brandon Woodruff, 4-1 on the year, so his first loss of the season, only went 4 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 3 earned runs and 5 hits with 6 strikeouts. Kittredge with his second save of the season. So my 3 stars for this game: Nico Horner was my third star, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Owen Casey was my second star, 1 for 2 with an RBI. Michael Bush was my first star with 2 RBIs, and he went 1 for 4. So again, a doubleheader sweep for the Cubs. And again, in the division race, which was this close, that was a big time performance from the Chicago Cubs. And with that said, they have a chance to further extend their series lead and take the series of the 5 games in game number 4. So in game number 4, Colin Ray going against his former team in this one. Frelick struck out swinging as well as Collins, and Contreras will ground out to second. In the bottom of the first, Mizorowski pitching for the Brewers. Bush will fly out to center. Happ struck out swinging, and Suzuki will fly out to center. In the top of the second, Yelich will get walked. Vaughn will line out to center. Siegler will get walked as well as Turang. Perkins will ground out to second, but it will score Yelich. Siegler and Turang advance a base. It is 1-0 Brewers. And then Ortiz will pop out to short. In the bottom of the second, PCA will ground out to second. Kelly struck out looking, and Nico Horner will ground out to first. In the top of the third, Frelick will fly out to center. Collins grounds out to second, and Contreras will line out to right. In the bottom of the third now, Casey will get walked, as well as Swanson, and then Shaw, so the bases are loaded. Bush will hit a double to left to score Casey, Shaw, and Swanson, so it is a bases clearing double to make it 3-1 Chicago. And then Happ will ground out to second. Bush will go to third. Suzuki struck out looking, and PCA struck out swinging. In the top of the fourth, Yelich will ground out to short, Vaughn will hit a base into center, Siegler will line out to center, Terang will hit a double to right, Vaughn will go to third, and then Perkins will strike out swinging. In the bottom of the fourth, Kelly will fly out to right, Nico Horner will ground out to second, and Casey struck out swinging. In the top of the fifth, Ortiz will ground out to short, Frelick will hit a base to left, Collins will get walked, and Frelick will go to second, and then Contreras will ground into a double play. In the bottom of the fifth, Mears will pitch for the Brewers, Swanson will foul out to first, Shaw will fly out to center, and Bush struck out looking. In the top of the sixth, Yelich will get walked, Vaughn will fly out to second, Siegler will hit a sac bunt to third, Yelich will go to second, and then Fieldbar will go in for the Cubs, Terang will hit a base hit to right, which will score Yelich to make it 3-2, and then Perkins struck out swinging. In the bottom of the sixth, Miller pitching for the Brewers, Happ will pop out to second, Suzuki will hit a base hit to left, PCA struck out swinging, Suzuki will steal second, and then Kelly struck out looking. In the top of the seventh, Ortiz will pop out to second, Frelick struck out looking, and then Collins will ground out to third. In the bottom of the seventh, Uribe pitching for the Brewers, Horner will fly out to center, Casey grounds out to short, and Swanson struck out swinging. Keller pitching for the Cubs in the top of the eighth, Contreras will line out to right, Yelich will line out to center, and Vaughn struck out swinging. In the bottom of the eighth, Koenig will pitch for the Brewers as Shaw hits a home run to left center to make it 4-2. Bush will hit a base hit to right, Happ will ground into a double play, and Suzuki will fly out to right. Palencia goes in for the Cubs in the top of the ninth. Siegler struck out swinging. Terang hits a base hit to center. Durbin will pinch it for Perkins, and he struck out swinging. Jansen will pinch it for Ortiz. Terang will go to second on a fielder's indifference. Jansen will hit a base hit to left to score Terang to make it 4-3. Lockridge will pinch run for Jansen, and he stole second. Frelick will get walked, as well as Collins to load the bases, but then Contreras will line out to second to end the game, and that was a good defensive play by Nico Horner, by the way, to end the game, to save a run at least from scoring, and the Cubs win Game 4, and they take the 5-game series, winning this game by a final score of 4-3. So the win goes to Colin Wright, 10-5 on the year, 5 2/3 innings pitched, gave up only 2 earned runs and 3 hits with only 3 strikeouts. The loss goes to Mizorowski, 4-2 on the year, 4 innings pitched, gave up 1 hit and 3 earned runs with 5 strikeouts. Palencia with his 18th save of the year, gave up an earned run and 2 hits, but he also had 2 strikeouts. So my 3 stars for this game, Matt Shaw was my 3rd star, who went 1 for 2 with a home run and an RBI. Colin Ray was my 2nd star, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 3 hits against with 3 strikeouts. Michael Bush was my 1st star, who went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. So with that said, very dominant performance over the 3 games so far with the Chicago Cubs against the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Cubs have a chance to make it 4 in a row in game number 5. So in game number 5, Shota Imanaga pitching for the Cubs. Frelick will hit a base hit to center. Collins will ground into a double play, and then Contreras will ground out to short. In the bottom of the first, with Priester pitching for the Brewers, Bush struck out swinging. Tucker will get walked, and Suzuki will ground into a double play. In the top of the second, Yelich will get walked. Vaughn will fly out to right. Durbin struck out swinging. Terang hits a home run to right center to make it 2-0 Brewers, and then Lockridge will fly out to right. In the bottom of the second, PCA will ground out to first. Happ will hit a base hit to center. Nico Horner will fly out to center. Castro will hit a base hit to left. Swanson will get walked to load the bases, and McGuire will ground out to second. In the top of the third, Ortiz will hit a base hit to right, Frelick will foul out to third, Collins will fly out to short, and Contreras struck out swinging. In the bottom of the third, Bush will strike out swinging, Tucker will ground out to first, and Suzuki will line out to left. In the top of the fourth, Yelich struck out swinging, Vaughn will fly out to center, and Durbin grounds out to short. In the bottom of the fourth now, PCA struck out swinging, Happ will get walked, Nico Horner struck out swinging, Castro got hit by the pitch, but then Swanson grounds out to short. In the top of the fifth, Terang struck out swinging, Lockridge will ground out to short, and Ortiz will ground out to third. In the bottom of the fifth, Monasterio is at short, McGuire will get walked, Bush will hit a base hit to right, which will send McGuire to third. Tucker will ground out to third, Bush will go to second, Suzuki will get walked, and Mears will go in for the Brewers, and PCA hits a sac fly to right to score McGuire. Bush will go to third to make it 2-1 in favor of the Brewers now, and then Happ will fly out to center. In the top of the sixth, Frelick will ground out to first, Collins will fly out to center, and Contreras will ground out to short. In the bottom of the sixth, Anderson pitching for the Brewers now. Horner will hit a base hit to center, Castro will fly out to right, Swanson will line out to left, and McGuire struck out swinging. In the top of the seventh, Yelich struck out looking, Vaughn will get walked, Durbin will line out to left, and Terang will fly out to right. In the bottom of the seventh, Koenig will be pitching for the Brewers, Bush will get walked, Tucker will line it into a double play, and Suzuki struck out looking. In the top of the eighth, Brazier pitching for the Cubs, Perkins will pinch it for Lockridge as he struck out swinging, Monasterio hits a base hit to left, Frelick will hit a double to right to send Monasterio to third, Collins will hit a base hit to right, which will score Monasterio and Frelick to make it 4-1 Milwaukee. Collins will steal second, and he got picked off, and got caught stealing second, and then Contreras will get walked, and Yelich will line up to center. In the bottom of the eighth, Uribe pitching for the Brewers. Perkins is in center field. PCA gets walked. Happ will also get walked. Nico Horner will strike out swinging. Castro will line out to right, which will send PCA to third. Owen Casey pinch hits for Swanson, and he grounds out to first. Pomeranz pitching for the Cubs. In the top of the ninth, Horner is at short, Castro is at second, and Shaw's at third. Vaughn will ground out to Pomeranz. Durbin will line out to third. Terang will hit a bases to center, and he goes to second on a wild pitch, but then Perkins struck out swinging. In the bottom of the ninth, McGill pitching for the Brewers, as Kelly will hit for McGuire, and he hits a base hit to left. Bush struck out swinging. Tucker will fly out to center. Kelly will go to second on a fielder's indifference, and then Suzuki will ground out to third to end the game. The Chicago Cubs lose the finale of the series, losing 4-1. The win goes to Mears, who's 5-3 on the year. 2/3 of an inning pitched. Gave up no earned runs, no hits, and no strikeouts. The loss goes to Shota Imanaga, 8-6 on the year. 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, and 3 hits against with 5 strikeouts. McGill with his 30th save of the year, gave up a hit and a strikeout in his only inning. So with that said, the Cubs still take the series. They take 3 out of 5 from the Milwaukee Brewers, and they finish off the series with a record of 73-55, and the Brewers finish with a record of 80-48. So the Cubs are down 7 at the end of the series, and that's where they stand as they finish off their entire series altogether for the year. But with that said, the Cubs do take the season series, winning 8 out of 13 from the Milwaukee Brewers, which was totally different from what it was last year. So to see an improvement against Milwaukee, who is really their main opponent in this division, is huge, and it's critical in the event of a playoff tiebreaker or playoff implications in general. So the Cubs understood the assignment, and they pretty much delivered. I couldn't have asked for anything much better. I'll take 3 out of 5. They, in my opinion, could have won 4 out of 5, but I'm not going to complain too much about it. They've been struggling offensively in this period of time, so getting wins here and there, I will gladly take it. So with that said, this is my series recap for the Milwaukee Brewers series, the 5-game series, and now we can kind of set back in reality with 3-game series for now on until the Reds series. I will come out with my Angels, Rockies, Braves, and National series as well. As you know, it is September 28th, so the end of the regular season is today. So all these videos are going to be coming out today and tomorrow, and then I'll have some more playoff videos coming out for all of you people. So with that said, give me your thoughts on this series in the comment section down below, and I hope to see you in the future series recaps as we close out the season. So with that said, if you're interested in this content, feel free to like and subscribe, and also follow us on Twitter at Cubs360X. So this is Jack from Cubs360, and as always, go Cubs go.